45-year-old technical writer Felicia Berger for the return of rent, a security deposit, and for moving expenses.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 304 on the calendar in the matter of Zott versus Berger. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
Mr. Zott, according to what I read, sir, you rented a room from the defendant. Did you find this through an ad in the paper?
I used the internet, and I found an ad, a number of ads, but
But you ultimately rented a room from the defendant?
Yes.
And what was the monthly rental?
$550.
So far correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your complaint states that you were there about 2 weeks, and you were forced to move out because of the defendant's unruly boyfriend.
That's right.
You not only paid her in advance the $550, but you also gave her a $1,000 deposit. And you minimally want that $1,000 deposit back. You also want moving expenses and some retroactive rent.
She actually did give me back $900 of the $1,000 deposit.
Did you cash the check?
Yes.
So what do you want?
I would like to be reimbursed for the second half of the month, which is the time that I didn't stay there because I felt that I was being put in a potentially violent domestic situation.
Well, why don't you tell me about that?
Well, at first, Felicia was working in San Francisco, and I was shown the apartment by a friend of hers named. And Felicia came back for the weekend. That's when I first met her and gave her the cash money for the first month's rent plus a $1,000 security deposit. And the next day, when she was going to fly back to California, that's when she told me, oh, incidentally, I have a boyfriend who has been causing me a lot of trouble in the past, and sometimes he gets drunk and bangs on the doors and windows, and if he comes around, make sure you don't let him in. And I had already paid her for the month's rent, and I really had to start work the following Monday, and I was in no position to try to find another place to stay because I had just moved. And then Felicia left. After about 10 days, she got homesick and came back to her house in Palm Beach Gardens. The second day that she was back, at 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm sleeping in my bedroom, and somebody is banging on the side door of the house and making a big commotion out there.
That's the first time it had happened?
Yes.
Okay.
So I didn't say anything to Felicia about it the next morning, but I immediately made it in my mind, you know, what she told me about this guy is absolutely true, and I didn't want to be there if it happened again. I immediately went on the internet again trying to find another place to rent, and I decided that I would move into another room. And the second incident happened the day after the banging on the door incident. I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and this side doorbell rang. Felicia went to answer the door, and I could hear the conversation, but I couldn't see who was involved. Somebody is asking Felicia, whose bicycle is that over there? Because he saw my bike. I had a bicycle. And she's being evasive and not telling him, oh, that belongs to a guy I'm renting a room to. She's saying, oh, that belongs to some guy. And he says, who? What do you mean, some guy? And, oh, what does it matter? It just belongs to a guy. And I'm wondering, why isn't she telling him that this belongs to a guy who's just renting a room? So she lets him in the house, and he comes walking into the living room, and I feel like I have to diffuse this situation. I get up and introduce myself. I say, hi, my name is Frank. I'm renting a room from Sheila here. Her boyfriend gets an agitated look on his face and takes her into one of the other bedrooms, and they have a heated conversation in there, and he leaves in a huff, once again confirming to me that, you know, there's some potential friction here that I want to get away from. And so the day after that, I think, is when I actually left Felicia a note explaining to her why I left and asking for the second half of my monthly rental back.
Okay. I'll hear you.
I rented a room while I was working in Silicon Valley, California. I'm a consultant, and I do have to travel frequently. Frank moved in and did give me the $550 for the month's rent, as well as a $1,000 security deposit. It was my home, and I had a lot of personal possessions there, and he offered to give me the $1,000 to show good faith. I went back out to California to work. When I returned...
Did you have a conversation with him before you went to California? And did you, in fact, tell him that you had a boyfriend who sometimes gets a little out of hand?
Your Honor, I do not recall that conversation.
Well, if you don't recall it, then I have to believe that what Mr. Zott says is true.
I told him not to let anyone into the house.
Now you remember. You just said you didn't remember.
I said I don't recall the specifics of...
Okay, well, he recalls the specifics, and I have to rely on his version.
The house...
Did you tell him about not letting anybody into the house, before or after you accepted his $1,550?
It was the time I was leaving for California after I accepted the money.
Okay. Did you ever have a restraining order against this boyfriend of yours?
No.
Had you ever applied for a restraining order against this boyfriend of yours?
I did at one time, yes, and I withdrew it.
When?
It was
I've got it right
probably
here.
a year before
Oh, you
that.
do?
Yes,
May I
Your
see
Honor.
it? How'd you get a hold of that?
I went to the courthouse thinking that I might have to prove something like this.
You're so smart. You're so smart, sir. Well, you remember what you said in this application for a protective order about the boyfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not a one-shot deal. These are many dates. You say he came to the door while he was drunk, trying to break the door down. Police were called. He left a message about you being with another man, threatening you, that he called again on the same day, questioning you about kissing a man on your patio and spying on you. He threw a kitchen knife at you and prescription glasses. I mean, this is pretty violent behavior that you're describing here.
Yes, Your Honor.
After you filed for this protective order and withdrew it, did you continue to see him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, didn't you feel, Miss Berger, that you had an obligation to tell someone to whom you were renting a room that this potentially hazardous situation might be difficult?
Your Honor, seeing as I was 3,000 miles away in California, I felt that the boyfriend would not be anywhere around the house.
But he was. In the early morning hours, which precipitated his starting to look for another room.
Your Honor, as the plaintiff stated, he did not tell me of the situation. I was not aware of the situation.
You don't have to be aware of it. He has to be aware of it.
Well, he did not see who was at the door.
You know who was at the door. This is a potentially dangerous situation. You had a boyfriend who had in the past threatened you over seeing other men. Here you had somebody who was living with you. Your boyfriend clearly was unhappy about that as a result of the conversation.
Your Honor, he was not living with me. This is an investment property. I do not live there. It is not my primary residence.
Living in your home.
I was in California. This is a rental property.
Miss Berger, when you came back from San Francisco, did you sleep in that house?
Once or twice, yes.
I don't care, once or twice, yes. You were living in San Francisco, but when you decided to come home, that was your home. You weren't renting him a whole house, you were renting him a room. If this wasn't your home when you were in town, your boyfriend would not have come over to visit. Wasn't his friend.
Your Honor, when I came back from California, I pulled into the driveway to see my cat outside in the driveway with his ribs sticking out, panting and thirsty because he had apparently been left outside for 3 or 4 days. I walked into the house, which smelled like someone died in there because there were raw chicken parts left in the kitchen. The place stank to high heaven.
That's ridiculous.
The laundry, I had rented the house completely furnished with sheets and towels. When he left the house, he didn't bother to do his dirty laundry. I don't do dirty laundry. I had to clean the house because it was such a pig pen.
Did you tell me that you left him to babysit for your cat?
Yes, she did.
You just told me this wasn't your home. How do you leave animals in some place
because
that's not
I was
your home?
working in San Francisco and I was not living
Did you
in
tell him you were
Florida.
going to leave the cats there before you took his money?
Yes, I did.
Judge, she asked me to do her the favor of taking care of her 2 cats while she worked on this job temporarily in California. I was happy to do it. And the cats were well fed, well cared for. And while we're at it, before we go any further with this, I have a copy of an email that Felicia sent to me after I had left, told me I can come back anytime I want to. She's sorry that I left. No mention about me being anything other than an ideal tenant.
You say, Frank, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Scott, I assume that that's the boyfriend, has tried to ruin everything in my life, my friends, finances, and jobs. Of course, I will give you your half-month's rent back. Anyway, wherever you went, if it doesn't work out and you don't like it, please know you can come back whenever you want. That doesn't sound like somebody who came home and found their house stinking. Ms.
Sure
Berger.
doesn't.
I was so shocked when I went to the house and got your note. So he left a note in the house.
Your Honor, I was shocked. I walked in and I saw the cat outside. I walked in and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he moved out, and I left.
Give me a break. Ms. Berger, nobody writes this kind of a note. I feel terrible for your inconvenience. Scott would only have bothered me, not you, so I tried not to be around much. Now, Mr. Sy, you want moving expenses, emotional distress, all that other kind of stuff. Let me tell you this. Sometimes you move into an apartment and it has roaches. This one had a roach and it had a name. But that doesn't mean that you're entitled to all this other stuff that you're suing for. You are, however, entitled to your $325, which represents the other 100 from the 1,000 and half a month's rent, because I find that you had good cause to move out. That's all.
Half a month's rent on 550. That's 275.
275. Just a second. Just a second. My mathematician. Hold it. 375.
375.
Thank you, Bird.
Quite welcome. Faisal, excused. You may step out.
The only thing that's a little disappointing is that Felicia still is living in some fantasy world.
You don't leave a house in South Florida with no air conditioning and leave garbage in the kitchen so bugs and roaches can come into your kitchen. It was disgusting.
Judge Judy is a cultural icon, and I really think she did a great job on this case.
And now the next case.
All parties on Faulkner versus Brannon. Step forward, please.
44-year-old utility worker Steve Faulkner is suing neighbor 53-year-old factory worker Juanita Brannon for having him falsely arrested. Juanita says she had Steve arrested when he violated her restraining order.
Mr. Faulkner, you and the defendant are next-door neighbors, who I gather from your papers have had a rather acrimonious relationship. So bad that there is a protective order against you that was issued by a court. Now, your complaint, Mr. Faulkner, states that the defendant had you falsely arrested for violating this protective order, and you want her to pay all kinds of damages for having you falsely arrested, mental anguish, et cetera, et cetera. When was the protective order issued?
5/15 of 2000.
Can I see it, please? What caused you to have him arrested, and when?
On June 2nd of 2000, Your Honor, I had came home from work about 3:30 when Mr. Faulkner came.
Shh, just a second.
When Mr. Faulkner come home from work, he did not stop his truck, but he pulled up close and he said, "This beer's for you." About 6:30 that night, he was still drinking, wandering around out in his yard with the camcorder. He come across the road, the easement, had a camcorder like this and a beer and this, and he said, "Again, this beer's for you. I'm going to take some pictures," and the sign's going.
What sign?
We have an RV sign that's on our property.
Can I see?
Here's some of the pictures. I've got a whole bunch of them, but there's a few of them. And so I
So he
just
was taking pictures of a sign.
this is from originally case, but he was taking pictures of that sign because he's going to knock it down again.
What sign were you photographing, sir?
The RV park sign that they put in my driveway the day of the accident.
Is this the sign?
No, ma'am, that's the old sign.
I'm not interested in these pictures. I want to see the sign that he was photographing. You have a picture of it?
Yes, ma'am.
I got a VCR picture of it, recording of it.
I want to see that. So would you put that in, Bert, please? And there's no question, Mr. Faulkner, that you were, in fact, videotaping this sign.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
But I do not even drink, Your Honor.
That's the sign that you were videotaping.
Yes, ma'am, that she stuck in my driveway for 30 years, that we used for 30 years.
That is not his property.
But do they have an easement to get onto their property?
Their easement is in the back of the RV park.
So he's videotaping the sign. Did you call the police?
I asked him to leave, and he turned around, and that's when he said again, "This beer's for you."
Where was he videotaping the sign from?
He was on the other side in the RV park, about 15 foot from me, and I'm scared of him, Your Honor. He's done tried to get me once with a truck, and I didn't know what he was going to do.
Your Honor, I got an eyewitness where I was standing when I was filming the sign.
I'll hear you witness. Go ahead.
Your Honor,
Step up. Who are you?
His name,
Close.
his neighbor.
Go ahead.
I seen him videotaping. I was looking out the window, and I said, "Wow, when they put that sign back up?" And
Who took the old sign down?
It was not. No,
Knocked down by whom?
I just know it was down, and then they went ahead and put the new one up.
Who knocked it down?
I did, Your Honor,
Why'd you do that for?
to get out of my driveway.
What did you knock it down with?
My pickup truck. That's another case. I'm still in process of that.
Where was he when he was videotaping?
Right on the edge of the driveway going in, their road going in, on the pavement, right next to the sign.
Staying on my property at all times. I did not step near her property or on her property or say a word to her, and I sure didn't have a beer in my hand.
I've looked at these pictures, and it seems to me if you put up this sign in such a way that makes it very difficult for them to get into their property when you could just as easily move it over 5 feet. Pay attention to me. When you could just as easily move it over 5 feet or 10 feet, have the same sign, and make everybody happy. Why do you choose to put up a sign in an area that is going to cause conflict?
Well, Your Honor, like I say, I don't know.
You know or not? You know a lot.
Right.
Why would you create more conflict instead of moving the sign a little tiny bit over and everybody would be happy? Why do you choose not to do that?
We can do that, Your Honor. And,
Right.
and-
Well, why didn't you? Even though the property may be yours, maybe they have an easement, who knows? You have no answer.
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, she has
Speak
caught me
not. How long were you incarcerated?
for 4.5 days. After 4.5 days, I never appeared in front of the judge, so they threw it all out.
Okay. You have papers on that?
I've got the police report and that.
Do you have the dismissal order or whatever you got after this last arrest?
Yes, ma'am, right here.
Can I see it, please? Well, were
I
you
was
ever
never
charged for violating
No,
the
ma'am.
order?
No, ma'am. Never charged.
How come you didn't tell the sheriff he said anything about cursing at you with this beer?
No, he didn't write it in there, but I told
It's
him
not
about it.
here. The officer would have recorded that if you said it, because that's threatening. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're a fibber. You didn't tell the police the whole story, madam, because you certainly were able to lie to me here today with the same kind of face that you probably spoke to the police. I have another problem with what you do, Miss Brennan, and that is being not neighborly is a very stupid thing to do. You can make the same statement that this is an RV park and people are welcome and you offer certain services and move that sign over to property which would not interfere with anybody else comfortably getting onto their property. You choose not to do that. You choose to make a problem. What does it give you except satisfaction to put the sign where you think is your property? You're not using it. I mean, they're not building the Empire State Building on your property. So I think that you misstated the facts to the police officer that he, in fact, came onto your property. That's what I believe. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $50.
A drunken Michael crashed while giving her a ride on his motorcycle. Michael is countersuing for being forced to drive.
Order. All rise.
Guys, this is case number 404. You okay?
Wait till you hear this one.
This is case 455, Judge, in the matter of Elliott versus Durkin. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
I want you to listen carefully to this.
I will do.
It seems that Miss Elliott was out at a bar with some friends. The defendant was also there. Both had been drinking. He was drinking a lot. According to Miss Elliott, the defendant insisted on giving her a ride, despite the fact she had come with other people to the bar, to their next stop, which was somebody's house, another hot spot, who knows. Mr. Durkin was driving a motorcycle. Miss Elliott says that Mr. Durkin insisted on giving her a ride.
Of course.
And she got on his motorcycle, and there was a bad accident, and she was injured. Prince Charming over here was afraid that because he was so drunk he was going to get in trouble. He left the scene and left her there in not such good shape. So that's part of the story. So far, I have your story down pretty pat.
Yes, ma'am.
Genius over here is counting.
Quick rhythm of your simple honesty.
He says
Fingers
she
drum the
insisted
sugar
on his
packet.
ride.
A syncopated
No,
sound.
because I'm too drunk to give
The
you
sweetest
a ride.
interruption that I'd ever found.
And she forced
It's a
herself
cafe conversation held between two separate minds.
on it. And his counter
nervous dance of the kind the heart always finds. The music's in the background, the bossa nova beat, and suddenly the ordinary feels perfectly complete. We trade a glance, a question mark, a subtle nervous blush. This gentle sweet beginning in the afternoon rush.
What did you go at?
I was a fairy princess.
Mr. Durkin?
You asked about the weather, a typical mistake. But every single syllable made my attention wait.
What time did you get there?
We talked of traveling,
What time did you
of places far away, avoiding all the subjects that we truly want to say.
Well, I wanted to go meet some other friends.
My tea is getting colder, your espresso's almost
My friends I
done.
came with, they wanted to go home.
We're trying hard to hold the thread
I don't
beneath.
ask for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. She was with me. She tried to talk him out of it. I wasn't in a good state of mind. I
What do you mean you weren't in a good state of mind?
had been drinking.
So you were drunk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I thought that it'd be okay to ride with him, to go to the club, and then we'd go back to my house, hang out with the, because I figured my friends would still be awake. I got on the bike. My roommate, who I came with, she tried to talk me out of it, and I'm drunk. I don't listen. She said she tried to talk him out of it.
And he was drunk, so he didn't listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you got on the bike.
Yeah. And she tried. She tried really.
All right, she tried, and she really wants to talk to me badly. So you got on the bike. And what happened when you got on the bike?
He was driving fast. I mean, showing off. I've ridden with people on motorcycles. I know how they a lot of the time act. They show off, for girls, drive fast, go between cars and whatnot. And I told him I was always just scaring me, please stop. He said, okay. He said he would try. We came to a red light. There was a truck in front of us. He made a left-hand turn, and he hit the median. He ran over the median. Like a minute after he said he'd try to drive better. After he ran over the median, I remember just thinking, oh my God, this isn't happening. I was screaming, crying, and he told me to get up. And he said, you're bleeding, but you're going to be all right.
He was right.
Thank you.
Oh, he was right. You probably were bleeding, and you see
Yeah,
you standing
I was-
here.
I was
and
bleeding.
you see you standing here, so you're all right.
Yes, but I was bleeding bad. I have pictures.
Oh, I'd like to see your pictures.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, not good, but.
Yeah.
And that third one in that first stack, that's the second day with my eyes open. It swelled more.
When you took this picture in your fairy princess costume, is there any reason why you put the crown on?
My friend who took it.
What a sense of humor. So you broke your nose, you had to have it rebroken,
Yes, ma'am.
you had
I
two
still
black eyes, and you want all your medical bills paid.
Lost wages. I had to retake 2 classes. I missed 2 weeks of school. Medical bills that insurance wouldn't cover. And then I still have permanent scarring.
All right, so you have insurance on this motorcycle?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
So why didn't you put into his insurance?
Um,
On what?
Insurance, they paid for some of the medical expenses. I
Well,
couldn't get a hold of it. I didn't
Did you put
know.
in to his insurance carrier for the injuries that you sustained as a result of this accident?
I wasn't sure if he had insurance. I didn't talk to him. I didn't.
Well, you should have.
He denied it even happened.
Listen to me. The first thing you do when you have an accident like this is you get a lawyer, because the lawyer sues his insurance company. So I don't know why you didn't do that.
I didn't know the procedure.
Well, now you know it, so I would suggest that maybe you do that. Maybe. All right, Mr. Durkin. Now, this accident happened pretty much the way she says it did, right?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
Well, tell me how the accident happened.
This is outrageous, all right?
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm the only one that gets hysterical here.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry. It was Halloween night, okay? And I was just sitting at home, and I was by myself, and I decided, hey, I'm going to go out, right?
Listen, let me explain something to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Get to the club. 10
All right,
o'clock
I'm
at
at the
night.
club. I'm up in the bar, and I'm having a few drinks, and I'm 3 sheets to the wind, Your Honor, all right? Up comes a little fairy princess, and she's talking to me, and I thought she was pretty cute, but anyway, we started talking, we got along pretty well, right? And after about...
Get to the bike!
Okay, Your Honor, after an hour. Your Honor, listen.
Bert, do me a favor.
Talk to me.
Stand behind him.
Okay.
Stand behind him. If he does that again, execute him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kendra Elliott says fellow partygoer Michael Durkin owes her for medical bills resulting from a motorcycle crash. Michael says Kendra forced him to drive.
Get to the bike,
All
sir.
right, yes.
She's on the bike.
This is pertinent, Your Honor.
Not pertinent. You're
Okay.
on the bike.
We wrecked. Yes,
Fine.
we wrecked.
Good. Now, she's laying on the ground, I assume, pretty bloody. And what made you take off, Mr. Durkin?
Your Honor, I was scared, all right?
That's fair. That's a fair... Shh, shh. Stop with this, Trionics. Put your hands on the table. Put your... That's perfect. That's where I want you to keep them. Bird, make sure he keeps those hands on the table. You were scared. That's a fair statement. You knew you were drunk, that you were going to be in serious trouble, so you took off and you left her. You had never met her before, so you figured she'll take care of herself. Some truck had come or something. Is that...
I was conned into... Your Honor, I was basically like, I was convinced to take her on the bike, okay?
Listen, Durkin,
Yes, Your Honor.
Durkin, listen to me. I don't care who you've told this story to before. I don't want to hear that part of the nonsense that you were conned into taking her on the bike. Because listen to me.
I don't mean conned, Your Honor.
Shh. Because you shouldn't have been on the bike. Do you want to know
That's
why?
That's correct, and I
Right.
didn't want to get on the bike, Your Honor.
Did you receive an order from the President of the United States commanding you to get on your bike?
No, Your Honor.
That
but there
just
was a
answer
little
it. That's
girl-
a no. I assume your bike is started with a key? Listen to me very carefully. These require yes or no answers. Nothing other than that. Does your bike require a key to start it?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you went into the club, did you leave the key in the bike?
No, Your Honor.
So would it be a fair statement that when you came out of the club, she got on the back of the bike, you removed the key from a pocket? Yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
You took the key that you removed from your pocket and you put it in the ignition.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you have a kickstand on the bike
Yes, Your Honor.
and you put it up. I assume you did all of those things.
Yes, Your Honor.
All of those things required some thought. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Completely.
So that the fairy princess didn't fly down and sit on the back of your bike while the bike was in motion. You did all of those things while she was on the bike, so it was a conscious in your unconscious state of mind choice to give her a ride on your bike while you were intoxicated. That's stupid. However, Mr. Durkin, she's just as stupid. And I don't care how much her friends tried to convince her not to go.
Her friends weren't even there, Your Honor. She sent them away.
Just a second. Are you listening to him?
How are they not there?
You're doing all right now.
Just do me a favor. Step yourself outside. You're irritating me. So, Miss Elliott, you're drunk. You get on his bike. You know he's drunk.
No, ma'am.
Oh, well, the only reason that you didn't know he was drunk is because you were drunk. And you had a choice. Your choice was, in your drunken state, to leave with your friends and go back to the house and sleep it off. That was your choice.
Yes, ma'am.
You chose, in your drunken state, knowing that he's drunk and going someplace else. You get hurt? That's your fault. That's just taking care of your lawsuit. You want to somehow pursue his insurance company? You're free to do that, Miss Elliott. In this court, you're not going to get a dime for stupidity. Now, let's deal with your counterclaim, Mr.
Yes,
Durkin. And I'm going to deal with it as fairly and expeditiously as I can.
Please.
It's dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I would still like to apologize, except it upsets me that she came to court and lied.
I just basically, though, wanted everybody to know that he did, I mean, he's a jerk, obviously.
And now the next case.
All parties on War Kenton Jr. versus Cooper. Step forward, please.
32-year-old concrete business owner Ron Workington is suing his ex-girlfriend, 30-year-old security truck driver Lisa Cooper. Ron claims Lisa lied about the paternity of her daughter.
Mr. Workington, according to what I've read, you and Miss Cooper lived together on and off for about 6 years. Starting when, sir?
In the summer of '94.
And in 1997, were you living together?
Yes.
When did you start living together?
The summer of '94.
Through when?
It was off and on till about August of 1999.
When you say off and on, you left, she left during periods of time?
A couple times here and there. It was a short period of time.
What do you mean, a week or two or a month?
Month at the most, month and a half.
And during those periods of time, would you leave or would she leave?
It was basically her decision to leave most of the times.
Okay. And you had a child?
A little girl.
A girl? And you continued to live together until August of 1999, separated, and in March of 2000, according to your complaint, a DNA test was done for some reason, and it was determined that the child was not yours. Your lawsuit wants to be reimbursed from the defendant for all the support that you contributed to the child during those 3 years. What prompted you to take a DNA test?
She told me in
March.
Shh, don't, I'll give you a
She
chance.
told me in June of last year when I was involved in another relationship with my girlfriend here. She told me that the child that I thought that I had was not my child. And she said that she knew the person that this child was fathered by. So I stopped paying her the money for the child at that point.
You had been voluntarily paying child support from August of 99 until June of 2000?
Yes, I was actually giving her money on a weekly basis.
After you left?
Yes.
What were you giving her?
I was giving her like $300-400 a month.
Is that correct?
No.
Was he giving you any money after August of
No,
1999?
he did. When we separated and I was completely away from him, he did not give me any money.
I'm just curious, do you have any proof that you gave her any money?
No, ma'am. I gave her cash money every week. It was one of those things that we were in the relationship since
He hardly
1994.
worked.
I didn't realize I was going to be in this situation 4 or 5 years down the road, so I didn't have any recollection that I was giving her cash deceitfully. I was giving it out of good faith, giving her money, paying her car payments, paying her bills that she has, you know, thinking that we had a relationship together for you know, eternity, more or less.
Well, eternity usually means marriage. Can you tell me why, since 1994, nobody used the M word?